too, when it comes to that marketing initiative and like what people are trying to achieve with that, frankly, most people have an idea. And we saw this with one of the people that we interviewed this morning. When it comes to marketing, how would you rate yourself? And they said a 9.5 out of 10, 10 being supremely confident and nothing left. And when we started to peel back the layers, their assumption of what marketing was purely social media for the most part. And going in there, posting every day and like doing a little bit of research to see what the trends were and like pretty much day by day, just seeing how they could grow their followers. And when we think about, and then they brought up this very specific problem that we understand is something that most newer entrepreneurs don't think about, is that you don't control that specific platform. If Meta decides to pull your stuff, you're screwed. And she said that her account had been shut down for 4 months, meaning her only tool that she could have used was social media, because that's the only one that she was equipped for. She didn't have access to that for 4 months, because here we are, and it's July currently as of this recording, shut down, no new business. And so when we think about the damage of that, that's why in these marketing plans, we expose people to different ideas and different potential limitations that you might not even have thought of, which is why if you ever have someone that has done this for a while and they say, hey, I'm going to give you a marketing plan, or we're going to sit down, some of those consultations are north of $10,000 to $20,000, just so we're clear. And when I think about the new entrepreneurs that are trying to have this thing that they really care about, these initiatives and these projects and these people that they want to serve, they have no idea how to do it. They don't know how to reach them. And they have this gift and this drive that needs to be spread. And that's why we take things like this and we're trying to make these things the lowest cost possible, so that way more people have access to them. And then as they grow their businesses, we have other things to sell. We have other ways to help them once they get to a basic level of, hey, you can create a new client once every 10 days. That's a pretty good acquisition cycle. Then how do we get them to the next level? And that's all the other stuff that we have as well that we are trying to probably make a little bit of profit on, if I'm going to be frank about that. But the entry level stuff, like our Empower to Continue Education stuff, our certifications, like it's meant to be of service, not necessarily super profit focused. So I think the marketing plans, if you don't know what all would go into that, these are a great resource for people to start to delve into. And again, you can find them in our Empowered University product. But anything else that you want to add about the marketing plans, the value, why they came around?
No, I think, off the marketing side, I'll piggyback on the next one, but let's jump on more of the coaching side of the house and just helping clients get results. Like what was one of the first things that you really wanted to be able to share within this service that we give everybody?
I mean, having spent the last, I'd say like 7 to 8 years in teaching trainers and coaches and nutrition coaches, how to be effective and how to maintain clients, how to retain them. Like there's a large component of education that comes in with that. And it was really, at my last place of employee, I was the president of a specific company, and the thing that I always fought against and the thing that really chafed me was this, and I still remember sitting at the table during the interview process, and they said, the science is the boring shit, no one cares. And when you think about it, if that were true, Bill Nye the Science Guy would have never had a show, right? Because people will find things interesting if you are interested. And so being that education is one of the biggest predictors of people feeling more confident to take action that are being dumb, right? If you don't know anymore, you're just ignorant, you just go do whatever you want. But if you're somewhat conscious and you're like, I don't really know how to solve this problem, that's going to stop you from potentially taking meaningful action consistently. So we sat there and we thought about it, and we're like, well, we have all these certifications. We have all this, I have like 400 different PowerPoint things. Like, how do we take these and make them available? And that's where we landed on the idea that why don't we take our certification courses and why don't we just make the course material available for people that want to learn the particulars? We won't necessarily say that you're certified in that baseline product, but we do want to make it available so people can become better informed consumers. If you are just a health consumer and you want to know how to eat better, like the nutrition consulting course is still very valuable for you to become a more savvy consumer. And who knows, maybe you want to be a coach one day. But that was one of the things that we figured, we need to figure out a way to get this content accessible to more people. How do we do that in a way that's not going to break the bank? Because we both know of a lot of organizations that'll charge sometimes $5,000, $10,000, $12,000 or 17 different price points. to sell 5 courses that people don't use. It just sits on their shelf. And we saw this all the time. 9% of people that buy an online product use it and complete it. So we were just looking at all these problems. They're like, we'll make it available. We'll figure out how to facilitate it on the back end. If you want hand-holding, we can help you with that. But in the meantime, you have access to the material. And, you know, that was probably the biggest thing that I think we were trying to figure out when it comes to how do we make coaches better.